Hello everybody, we're getting ready to do lesson 9.5 of Algebra 1 Math, part 1. Email me here. 9.5, solving quadratic equations by completing the square. Here is our standards. This is part 1. We have a 36-point skill sheet and a 0-point notebook responsibility. Our bell work today, teachers. An equation of the graph shown is here. 2 points on the parabola have y coordinates of 9. Find the x coordinates of these points. Okay, so give your students 5 minutes. Okay, welcome back. We're going to provide the solutions to our bell work right now. Here they are. So we have our original here, and then we have when y equals 9. So we're trying to 2 points that have a parabola y coordinates of 9. So we're going to make this equal to 9, then 16 equals x minus 2 squared. And then what we do is we take the square root of both sides, and we have plus or minus 4 equals x minus 2. And then we solve for x. X coordinates are 2 minus 4 equals negative 2, and 2 plus 4 would equal 6. So that would be how we would solve our bell work for today. Solve quadratic equations by completing the square. You've solved quadratics by finding square roots. You will solve quadratic equations by completing the square. So to form an expression of the form x squared plus bx, you can add a constant c to the expression so that the expression x squared plus bx plus c is a perfect square trinomial. This is called completing the square. So completing the square, to complete the square of this expression, add the square of half the coefficient of bx. So x squared plus bx plus b over 2 squared would equal x plus b over 2 squared. Here's our perfect square. Example 1, complete the square, find a value c that makes this expression a perfect square. Trinomial, then write the expression as the square of a binomial. Find the value of c. For the expression to be a perfect square trinomial, c needs to be the square of half the coefficient of bx. So c equals 5 over 2 squared. Up here, 5 over 2 squared, which equals 25 over 4. Find the square of half the coefficient of bx. That's what that is. Write the expression as a trinomial. Then write the expression as the square of the binomial. So in this case here, x squared plus 5x plus 25 over 4. Substitute 25 over 4 for c. We find that by having 5 and then squaring it. Sorry about that. Then we have this here, x plus 5 over 2 squared would be the square of this trinomial right here. Okay, let's do this. Got to practice. Students, pay attention so you can do yours. Got to practice here. So we have this situation here. C would equal 8 over 2 squared, and 64 over 4 would be 16. That would be our C. So x squared plus ax plus c would equal 8x squared plus 8x plus 16 equals x plus 4 squared. That would be the completing this square. And then, is it your lucky day, students? It might be your lucky day here. I do help you out here. So, it's negative 12 over 2. This is our b here. Negative 12 over 2 squared would be 36. So now we have our perfect square. It's x squared minus 12x plus 36 equals x minus 6 squared. The value of c is 36, and here's your expression to complete this trinomial to make it a perfect trinomial. Solving equations. The method of completing the square can be used to solve any quadratic equation. To use completing the square to solve a quadratic equation, you must write the equation in the form x squared plus bx d. Okay, example 2, solve a quadratic equation. We have a situation here by completing the square. So what do? What we do is we take 1/2 of negative 16 and square it and add it to both sides. And we have x minus 8 squared equals negative 15 plus negative 8 squared. So we have x minus 8 squared equals 49. Then x minus 8 equals plus or minus 7. We take the square root of both sides. X equals 8 plus or minus 7. And then solutions of the equation are 8 plus 7 or 8 minus 7 is 1. So those would be your x values for solving that trinomial. You can check the solutions in the original equation. Here's check here. For 15 squared minus 16 times 15 equals negative 15. Yeah. And then here's the other check here when x equals 1. And that checks too. So this solution right here checks. Okay, guided practice now. We have this situation here. Solve the equation by completing the square. Students, do the same thing to yours down here. Watch, pay attention. Okay, our guided practice, x squared minus 2x equals 3. So we're going to take 1/2 of negative 2 and square it. And do the same thing over here. Add it to the right side. Yeah. So we have x minus 1 squared equals 4 now. Then what do? Well, we take the square root of both sides. We have plus or minus square root of 4. And then we move this over here. So we have 1 plus or minus 2 as our solution. So x equals negative 1 and x equals 3 would be our solutions to that. And oh yes, it's your lucky day, students. Mr. Ruff's being generous. Here's your solution for this one here, m squared plus 10m. So we're going to take 1/2 of 10 and then square it, add it to both sides. We get this on the left side, we get this over here on the right. Take the square root of both sides, m equals negative 5, move this over, plus or minus square root of 17, and whatever that is, those are your two solutions here. Negative 9.12 and negative 0.88 would be your solutions there. That is lesson 9.5, part 1, part 2, part 3 available here. Thank you, everybody.